Hello. I'll try to get this camera right. Sorry. Ooh, okay. Hey, so it is Wednesday, and I'm gonna make my video for GenderqueerChat. So sorry I'm a day late and stuff. I've been kind of getting to know neighbors and stuff like that, so my life's a little bit different than it used to be. But yeah, should be able to answer this week's topic. I had some coffee, so that's good. I'll be awake. Okay, so let's see. This week's topic is hard to read because my vision's going, but it is, do you think that there are any unique challenges that a person may face in regards to experiencing transphobia as a binary or a non-binary identified trans person? And the bonus question is, do you have any regrets? Okay, so are there any unique challenges for a binary versus a non-binary trans person? Yeah, probably. I'm a non-binary trans person, and that is how I feel inside. Like, I'm genderqueer as well, so to me, being genderqueer is just kind of a non-binary identity anyways. And obviously that means something different to everyone, but for me, I definitely feel pretty non-binary, so yeah, I can't particularly speak to what it would be like for binary people, but from my perspective, I think that as non-binary trans people, or just in any way kind of non-binary identified people, I think we can face kind of more difficulties, in air quotes, you know, more difficulties than people who are binary identified, but I think realistically it's just different things. Like, I think that if you were like a binary trans woman, you have the privilege of passing, however, you would still probably have to deal with misogyny and trans misogyny and all of that shit, so that really sucks. Kind of a heavy subject in a way, because, you know, that's what we're talking about. So I feel like what I face as a non-binary trans person is that I usually get used to, based on kind of how I'm being perceived and stuff, I would get used to mistreatment and just generally being kind of ignored or seen as really weird or something. So I'm kind of immediately kicked out, and like I exist in a kind of turbine, like between two turbines, whereas I feel like I have a little bit of jealousy at times towards binary identified and presenting trans people, because they pass and then they have this like privilege of passing, you know, where they can be validated, people will use pronouns that they prefer, you know, and all that kind of thing, so they'll generally feel more validated, I think, but there's that potential for a kind of for like histories to be brought up and things like that, and yeah, other things like that. So I know I'm being really vague, it's kind of early for me, so hopefully this makes some sense. You know, I guess I'm just feeling like the main differences I see between binary and non-binary trans people, as far as like challenges that we face, is that as a non-binary person, when I navigate the world, like this kind of cis-dominant world, I feel like I'm more prone to getting used to being in a kind of turbine, you know, where there's and then dealing with like passing as something that I don't identify with, and things like that. So that sucks, you know. It's like I could acknowledge some kind of male privilege or something, but to me that's really invalidating. And if I were to express something like that, like my acknowledgement of some kind of male privilege, that's something that I would do, like, from myself, and that when something like that is pointed out to me, that kind of pisses me off, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's no one's place to tell me that that I'm supposed to conform to the binary, or that because of how I appear to them, that I have some kind of privilege. So I don't know, that's the kind of thing that I feel like I deal with, at least experientially. I'll deal with people perceiving me in a way that I may or may not be comfortable with, usually not really, but I'll get used to that and kind of try to flow with it. And then people that are respectful, it's like kind of astonishing sometimes. So I don't know, I've been getting more experiences lately, so I think that for the most part I've found some people that are really cool about things and are respectful, but I'll still have those moments where I feel like I'm being completely ignored and I'm like invisible, or just generally hated for various reasons that are not very nice. So that's what I feel like I face as a non-binary trans person. And I think a binary trans person, I kind of feel a sense of jealousy towards sometimes, because I feel like it must be a little bit simpler for them. And, they would be comfortable, I assume, like in this hypothetical kind of example, hypothetical binary trans woman, for example, would feel comfortable maybe passing as like a cis woman, but then she could deal with some situations of people outing her, or like depending on what she's had, like what changes she's made to her body or something, that she could be read as not a cis woman anymore, and then that could be like devastating, which is just kind of cis sexism, which is fucked up. Whereas I feel like at least they've got in the door, they've been in the wonderful space, and I just exist in a fucking turbine. And then I find people that are good and that I can relate with, that aren't gonna try to kill me for being myself and things like that, that I can actually connect with and who are helpful and supportive, and just try to be around them. So that's kind of my safety from the binary that feels like a just jet turbines just trying to fuck with my existence, Does any of this make any sense? I think I'm just kind of rambling this morning, so I'm really sorry if that doesn't make any sense at all. It's a kind of short video, so I think that's kind of what I have to say. I know it's a little bit lackluster. I guess I'm just not feeling that great, but yeah, I think that we all do face these different challenges, and I guess I do find it more difficult to be a non-binary trans person than I'd imagine it would be for a binary trans person, but I can acknowledge that for them there's a sort of, you had all this wonderful stuff and now it's potentially going to be taken from you, so that can be kind of fear-inducing and things like that. So yeah, and I guess another thing to maybe address, and I don't want to like make comparisons or something, but I think it's also fair to address the issue of living in a patriarchal society. So there's misogyny, and like it sucks kind of worse for trans women than for trans men, in the sense that those of us that are more trans feminine are like losing privilege, or when we're accepted, like I could be validated and feel validated, and then still receive misogynistic treatment. And this is something which I think I could share in common with binary identified trans people, because, or like trans women, because misogyny sucks and it kind of screws over everybody. So I don't know really what I'm saying with that, except that it kind of sucks for everyone in different ways. That's the system. It kind of sucks, but I think the best thing we can do is to stick with good people and find people that are respectful of you for you, and people that will just generally try to appreciate where you're coming from in different ways, and not and not perpetuate misogyny and transphobia and stuff like that. So you know, the world kind of sucks sometimes, and just try to stick with good people, and then hopefully it'll be okay. So I think that's the best thing I can say this morning. And then we'll move on to the bonus question. So the bonus question is, do you have any regrets? Yeah, I got fucking regrets, I guess. But I try to leave those behind in a way. Like, I think the place of regrets is that I can do something and regret it and learn from that, in the sense of like, oh, I shouldn't do that again or something. But sometimes I feel regrets over shit that I shouldn't have to regret. You know, it's like, it could feel similar, but it's just people that have made me feel bad about certain things. So I think I do have some regrets, but it's all like a learning experience, and if I talk about my regrets, it doesn't seem like it would be very helpful. So yes, I do have regrets, and it's, I guess, mostly like things that I've done, people that I used to be around, but it's like, it's complicated, it's my life, it's really personal, it's like I'm open to sharing with you guys and stuff. I just think that it's kind of heavy stuff. So I don't know, I get regrets, but it's not so bad. I never killed anybody, so, you know, I don't have that heavy of regrets. I just kind of deal with some heavy feelings sometimes, and I have to sort through like what I feel bad about legitimately, and then seeing that what I feel bad about may or may not be actually that bad, or what can I do about it. So yeah, hopefully that makes some sense. I kind of feel a little out of it, so I don't know if this is helpful at all, but doing my best. So yeah, so I'll try to keep it kind of short like this, and I think that is my perspective for this week. I've honestly not really watched anybody's videos this week, because I'm kind of just getting to know neighbors and stuff like that around here, and passing out and smoking too much and stuff like that. So it's a great fucking life and stuff. You guys. Yeah, and this is like 13 minutes, so sorry I'm kind of not as chipper and on top of things as maybe I used to be, but I don't know, I hope that that's kind of a helpful perspective. I think that you know, it can be rough to be a trans person and just generally non-conforming in different ways, but it's important to feel that and stuff and get a sense of what it's like to be respected, and what it's like to live in the world as you know, however you are, and I think it's important to find community and people that we can be around, who will help us out in different ways and help us to feel valid as human beings and stuff. So yeah, so I guess that's all I gotta say, and yeah, I hope you all will have a really good week and stuff. I think it's great that we're still making some good videos and stuff. I'll try to check everybody's videos out at some point, because I always like hearing from you guys. I just haven't gotten around to watching them this week, so yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say. Okay, take care.